I dropped out at 17. No money, no plan, just a beat-up guitar, a busted pair of headphones, and a dream so loud it drowned out the doubt in everyone's voice, including my own. They laughed. Teachers, neighbors, my uncle at Sunday dinners. Even my best friend Sam looked at me like I was chasing clouds. I can still hear my mom's voice the night I told her, "Don't be stupid, Danny. This isn't a movie." But it felt like one. Maybe not the Hollywood kind, with golden lights and red carpets. No, mine opened with flickering street lamps, a half-packed bag, and a quiet goodbye as I walked out the front door into the cold. I wasn't running away. I was running towards something. I just didn't know what it was yet. The first night, I crashed on a friend's couch in downtown Phoenix. The place smelled like weed, cheap cologne, and leftover fast food. It wasn't glamorous, but it was freedom. I played open mics, small shows, anywhere they'd let me stand with a guitar and scream my heart into a mic. Some nights I sang to a room of 5, one of them the bartender pretending to care. Other nights, the crowd talked over me so loudly I couldn't hear myself. Still, I kept playing. Every rejection was like a slap, but it made me tougher. One night, after a set where no one clapped and someone actually booed, I sat on the curb behind the venue, my guitar case open beside me, empty except for a crumpled $5 bill and a half-eaten Snickers bar someone tossed in as a joke. I stayed up at the sky. "What am I doing?" I whispered. That was the first night I almost gave up. Almost. My dream wasn't fame. Not at first. It was connection. When I was 13, my dad left. Just didn't come home one night. Mom cried for days. I locked myself in my room and wrote my first song. It was bad, but it made me feel less alone. Music filled the space where he used to be. Every chord, every lyric, it patched a hole. That's what I wanted to give people. But at 17, sleeping on floors and eating instant noodles every night, it felt like the world didn't want what I had to offer. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a Thursday. I remember because I almost didn't go out. I had a fever, a sore throat, and only enough gas in my car to get to the show. But not back. My friend Liv, the only person who still believed in me, said, "Go. You never know who's listening." So I went. The bar was nearly empty. Just a few college kids, a lonely couple in the corner, and a guy at the back wearing a baseball cap pulled low. I tuned my guitar, hands shaking. My voice cracked on the first song. Halfway through, I sang something I'd written the night my dad left. I never performed it before. Too raw, too personal, but something told me to play it. It was quiet when I finished, like the room was holding its breath. Then the guy in the baseball cap stood up and walked toward me. He didn't say anything, just handed me a card. Marcus Lee, talent manager. I thought it was fake. It wasn't. 2 weeks later, I was in a recording studio in LA, standing in front of a microphone worth more than my entire life savings. Marcus had connections, real ones, and for some reason, he believed in me. He said, "You've got something raw, something real. People need that." The first few sessions were brutal. I had no clue how to record. I didn't know what a producer even did. I felt like a kid pretending to be an adult, constantly waiting for someone to say, "You don't belong here." But they didn't. They helped me, pushed me. Then we recorded a song called Glass House, a stripped-down track about growing up in a home that looked perfect from the outside but was breaking inside. It wasn't fancy, just vocals and a piano. We uploaded it online. No big promo, no label, just a song. It sat there for a week. Then, one morning, I woke up to 300 new messages on my phone. People crying, sharing their own stories, saying it felt like I'd written their pain into melody. The video had gone viral. 1 million views in 3 days. My name, Danny Gray, was trending. I thought that was a dream. Fame, validation, the world finally seeing me. But fame isn't what I imagined. People changed. Friend from high school I hadn't heard from in years started calling. Girls who once ignored me were suddenly in my DMs. And then came the haters. "You're just another sad boy with a guitar. Is not even that good." He probably bought those views. It messed with my head. I stopped sleeping. I started second-guessing every lyric, every post. I felt like I was back on that stage with a booing crowd. Except this time, millions were watching. Then the label deals came. Big names, big money. But they wanted to change me. More upbeat stuff, they said. Try auto-tune. Dance tracks. We need hits. I said no. They said I was stupid. Maybe I was. The pressure almost broke me. One night, I stood on the balcony of my tiny LA apartment, staring down. I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe I flew too close to the sun. Then Liv called. I hadn't talked to her in weeks. She said, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but I'm proud of you. Don't let them turn you into someone you're not." I stepped back inside. That call saved me. So I went independent. Risked it all. I crowdfunded my first album. Wrote it in my bedroom. No flashy producers. No filters. Just me. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. And people felt that. It debuted at #3 on the indie charts. Not top of Billboard, but top of my world. I toured. Not stadiums. Small clubs, theaters. Places where I could see every face in the crowd. People sang along, cried, laughed, held up their phones with the flashlight on like stars in the dark. And one night, backstage, I got a message. From my dad. He said, "I heard your music. I'm sorry. I'm proud of you." I stayed at the screen for a long time. I didn't reply, but I cried. Not out of sadness. Out of healing. Now, years later, people call me famous. I've got fans, interviews, a verified blue check, and a manager who actually takes my calls. But when they ask me about my biggest moment, it's not the awards or the viral hits. It's that night on the curb, guitar beside me, thinking about quitting and not doing it. That's when it changed. That's when I chose to believe in myself when no one else did. So yeah, I dropped out at 17. No money, no plan, just a dream. And one moment that changed everything. Some people think chasing a dream means risking everything for fame. But that was never the point. Chasing my dream meant choosing a life that felt honest, even if it hurt. It meant playing to empty rooms when my heart was full, and singing to thousands when I felt hollow. I didn't do it to prove anyone wrong. I did it to prove to myself that I was worth listening to, even when no one else thought so. There were days I wanted to quit. Days when ramen noodles were dinner again, and I wondered if I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. But every sleepless night, every rejection, every song no one heard, it all led to this. And now, when someone tells me my music helped them survive, or gave them hope on a bad day, I know it was worth it. Every second, every scar, every silence before the applause. To anyone out there who's scared to take the leap, do it. Not because it's easy, not because it will make you rich, but because the fire inside you doesn't go away just because others don't see it. You don't need permission to be who you are. You don't need a map to follow your passion. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is take the first step with shaking legs and a loud heart. I'm not special. I'm not lucky. I just didn't stop. And if you're still reading this, maybe you won't stop either. Maybe this is your sign. Not to be fearless, but to be brave enough to keep going, even when you're scared. Because one moment really can change everything. It did for me. And maybe it will for you too.